Comments. We just finished recording our podcast and we were talking about...
Number 4.
We were talking about failures. Or rather, you wanted to kind of redefine the word or find a better word. And we talked about it being, and the failures in, not eating what I said I was going to eat, or not exercising when I said I was going to exercise, or talking myself out of going to the gym. But rather, those things can be seen as just getting a different result.
Yeah, not just producing a result. Yeah, everything is producing a result.
Yes.
Truly.
So
the inactivity, the activity.
Let's just take food, for example. When you talk about mindlessly eating food.
Yes.
And then feeling, can you talk a little bit about that feeling of like guilt over...
Yeah, I was sharing in the podcast how I'm super grateful that I'm at a point where that's super rare at this point. Super.
Yes, and I'm grateful too.
Yeah, to get to that place. And so it was hard to think back to the last times where I felt so crappy about the choices I had made and I felt like a failure, where I'm usually overeating portions. Something that was a portion for 4 people or 2 people, I'm eating by myself and feeling justified because I didn't want to feel. That was why I was eating it that way. I wanted to numb myself out, and I would be numb while I was usually eating and watching something, and then as soon as I get to a place of, oh God, I feel sick, and that was all I felt. And this punitive nature of almost like I'm punishing myself for feeling at all. And we didn't really get into that in the podcast, but yeah, that's something I want to get away from and not punish my body, but make my body feel as good as it can through the choices I make, through the physical activity, through the foods that I eat, and through all the water that I drink.
How much water are you on? 32 ounces today? 64?
So far, this makes 64. So, and having an awareness that I'm worth taking care of. I think that's what came up out of that, and I'm valuable. I'm my own parent, so I'm the only one who can say, hey, that's enough, little girl. Who and why are you eating that way, little girl? Or not little girl, but Rashida, why are you eating that way? Why, or is there something that you're feeling that you don't want to feel, or what's really going on while you're eating this way? When it's kind of this unexpected overdoing it.
The thing that I realized just in talking to you over the last hour is you talk about being justified. When you talk about, I can justify eating, whether it's a bag of chips or it's 2 pints of ice cream, as in my case.
You did 2 pints back to back?
Yeah, I thought we talked about that, did we?
No.
Well,
that's
we'll save that for another time, but because that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But the idea that justifications are this thing, when it creeps up in my mind, when I'm doing something and I feel bad about doing it, but then the justification comes in to help keep me doing this bad thing that's going to develop a result that is not in line or in tune with my goals.
Yeah.
That is now a tool I can use to be more aware and just readjust that behavior so that I'm not going down the path of what I might consider a failure or a result I don't want to get.
Right.
And so when I feel those things, like we also call them in the 12-step program that I'm in, when you feel a resentment coming up towards something. And like, okay.
like towards yourself?
Toward yourself. It can be towards inanimate objects. It can be, I'm serious. Yeah, exactly. Think about it. Goddamn water. I always got to drink all this stupid water. So that justification is a sign that I need to readjust my behavior, right? So that's the thing that I've taken away from this, is that I can use because that's the thing, we can sit here and talk about awareness and mindfulness and all these things and use all these buzzwords that people hear all the time, but if I don't find some sort of practical tool to use it, yes, there is application is an important part of all of this as well for me. But that's the thing that I love when I go, okay, do I feel justified for spending money on something that I don't need? Do I feel justified because I had a rough day? Well, what would really be self-care in that moment? And really fulfilling. Not buying a video game or a shirt or an ice cream or buying anything really. But so that's the thing that I took away from today's talk was recognizing the justification, pausing and saying, wait a minute, why am I justified to continue bad behavior? And what is the root cause of that? And what am I really missing? What do I really want? What am I craving? What is lacking in my life at this particular moment? Or just in my day? It doesn't have to be some big epic existential thing. It could just be, I need to take a nap.
Yeah, I need a cuddle.
I need a cuddle and maybe I need a cold drink and a glass of water. And
it's funny whether it all comes down to this, because this didn't really come out in the podcast, but it really does come down to, I feel like we are bigger babies. Did you get your nappy? Did you get your bottle? Have you had enough fucking hydration? Because I know, not just me. It's
Hashtag enough fucking hydration.
But I see people, I'm like, I know you're thirsty. I can tell. You look thirsty. And when I in the past have been eating, when I knew, it turned out I was really hungry. I was really thirsty. I wasn't hungry. I was thirsty. And so, like, a baby needs a nap, needs rest, needs a bottle, and needs some loving and attention and some nice touch or rough touch if you're into it.
So
tie it up.
Yeah.
and food and what else? And what else does
Love.
baby need? Nurturing, know. So if I'm missing any of those things as an adult woman, watch the crab come out. Watch the horrible come
It's
out.
true.
And I've seen it in you too. And
100%.
And it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility to say, I give those things to myself first. And these are my new practices, at talk about health and failures in the past. There was a relationship failure, and the relationship health failure was looking for it from other people. Right? Oh, well, you make me feel good, so you got to make me feel good all the time. Gee, that's exhausting.
Yes.
Or vice versa, where I was codependently caretaking people who demanded that I take care of them all the time, and then we both resent each other and resent ourselves, and so I love the all of the health that gets talked about with sharing with you guys and sharing with all of you.
Being mindful, knowing myself, and seeing those justifications for what they are really help keep me on track, more so than anything else.
It's simply a choice.
It's simply a choice.
One choice you could make, one result you were going to produce. Is it the one that you really want?
Yeah. So I think, too, an important choice is to click that subscribe button, like, share, and subscribe.
Please.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking.
Always. I love you.